Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is a very special episode of Journey into the Unknown. I am your host, Emerald Raven, and we're going to talk about something that is very, very interesting. Now, over the past several weeks, something has been moving across the state of Ohio, not just through the forests, but in the skies as well. Different locations, different witnesses, but the same pattern described again and again. Large upright figures moving through wooded terrain. Unexplained lights appearing in the sky above those same regions. What's happening now isn't isolated. It's happening across connected land, and in some cases across the air above. The reports are increasing and the locations are beginning to overlap. So what we're talking about here is there has been a surge in the last few weeks of Bigfoot sightings and UFO sightings. So let's jump right on into some of these reports that I came across. The Manaway area has a long-standing history of encounters tied to wooded terrain and low-density rural land. Reports from this region have consistently involved large figures moving along tree lines and retreating into dense forest cover. On March 6th, at approximately 12:23 in the afternoon, a field observer reported a large upright figure on the edge of the wooded area near State Route 44. The figure appeared to be approximately 9 feet tall with brown hair. It remained partially concealed within the tree line, completely still for a brief moment, and then withdrew into the woods with speed, without any audible disturbance. Later that same evening, a separate witness reported a stationary light above the tree line in the same general area. The light remained fixed in place for several seconds before fading out completely. The broader Manaway region continues with the same environmental pattern, with dense woods, water access, and connected land that supports movement across large areas. On March 7th, at around 10:52 p.m., a nighttime encounter occurred in this area. Heavy rhythmic bipedal footsteps were heard moving through the trees. The presence was described as significantly larger than a human figure. Then, a deep, low-frequency grunt, and immediately after, the forest went completely silent. The following morning, large muddy footsteps were discovered in the exact same area where the sound originated. Now moving to Garrettsville. Garrettsville and the surrounding farmland have long been associated with sightings involving movement between wooded patches and tree-lined fields. On March 9th, at approximately 10:20 in the morning, a tall figure was observed standing amongst a cluster of dark hemlock trees. Witness described it as approximately 8 feet tall with black hair. It remained motionless within the shadowed tree line, and then it simply disappeared from view. Headwaters Trail, Hankey Road. Trail systems like Headwaters Trail act as natural corridors connecting miles of forest and allowing movement across regions without exposure. On March 9th at 11:47 in the morning, 2 witnesses reported a direct visual encounter lasting approximately 15 seconds. The figure was described reaching up to 10 feet in height with pitch black hair and a broad muscular frame. A strong musky odor was noted. Its movement was stiff and deliberate, with a gait resembling elevated stilt-like steps. When it shifted its attention, the figure rotated its upper body rather than turning its head. Heavy footsteps were heard as it moved away. That same corridor has also produced reports of unexplained aerial lights moving silently above the tree line at night. Now let's go to Windham. Windham sits along the eastern portion of Portage County, where rural land transitions into more continuous wooded regions extending toward Trumbull County. On March 9th at approximately 6 p.m., witnesses observed a brown upright figure near a residential edge bordering a wooded area. The figure stood around 6 feet tall, but moved with an unusually long stride, covering distance at a rate inconsistent with the human gait. Streetsboro, Tinker's Creek. The area around Tinker's Creek is known environmental corridor, where water and forests intersect, creating a pathway for movements across the region. On March 9th at approximately 8 p.m., 2 witnesses traveled westbound and reported a close-range encounter near the roadway. The figure was described as approximately 6 feet 5 inches tall, lean in build, with brown hair and extended arm length. Facial features appeared obscured, with lighter hair around the face. Its movement was rigid and elevated, consistent with earlier reports. The figure came within close proximity to the vehicle and then moved from the road. Newton Township connects directly into the eastern corridor of activity, where wooded terrain continues into less developed lands. On March 10th at approximately 4 a.m., a resident exiting their home with a German Shepherd encountered movement in the nearby woods. The dog initially advanced, but then abruptly retreated, showing clear signs of distress. A large dark figure was observed moving forcefully through the dense brush. Loud crashing followed, consistent with significant mass pushing through vegetation. The figure appeared only as a tall silhouette within the tree line. Lake Milton sits within the eastern extension of this movement corridor, where the water, forests, open land intersect. On March 10th at approximately 10:30 a.m., a witness observed a dark reddish-brown figure near a pond. The figure stood 7 feet tall with muscular upper body and pronounced arm length. It was observed approximately 30 seconds before moving away at speed with a forward-leaning posture. Later that night, multiple residents in the surrounding area reported lights moving slowly across the sky, described as silent and without visible aircraft structure. The lights changed direction before disappearing. Additional aerial reports across northeastern Ohio Multiple witnesses have reported unexplained lights within the same time frame. Objects described as bright orbs, silent movement, sudden changes in direction, often appearing above wooded areas, water sources, and low populated areas. In several cases, these sightings occur within the same regions as the ground encounters. Individually, these reports raise questions. Together, it seems that they form a pattern. Across all locations, the details remain consistent. Movement through connected land, presence near water, use of wooded cover, and edge environments. And above those same regions, unexplained aerial activity, figures described as upright, ranging between 6 and 10 feet in height, with varying colorations, extended reach, heavy movement through terrain, minimal sound, except when interacting with the environment, and a repeated presence appearing across multiple locations within a defined corridor. This is not a single point activity. This movement on the ground and above it. The locations connect, the descriptions align. The pattern is consistent and the activity is ongoing. It seems that while I only covered Ohio, there has been an uptake in UFO sightings throughout the United States in general. Now, my final thoughts on what is happening right now, I don't think that there's a coincidence whatsoever that these sightings are happening around the same areas and around the same time frame. As if you look throughout history, you will see that there are a lot of reports of Bigfoot sightings and UFO sightings surging at the same time and roughly in the same areas. Are they connected? I don't know. But there are those who believe that Bigfoot are actually aliens, which would explain the UFOs. As far as my opinion on that, I can't say one way or the other. There's too many variations of what it could be. But it's obvious to me that we are having sightings of very different Bigfoot. They're varying in heights, they're varying in body builds, they're varying in colors, which doesn't surprise me at all because there are many different, what I call species of Bigfoot, or breed of Bigfoot is what we should say. The way that, dogs have different breeds, I believe Bigfoot have different breeds. I personally also believe that this this kind of doesn't surprise me with the it doesn't really surprise me that all of this is happening. And over the last few weeks, and then yesterday, and just before 9 a.m., a small meteor exploded in the atmosphere above Ohio. Now, let me check my directions one more time so that I'm not giving you false information here. That says across the state. Let me go back just real quick through my research here because I want to get the right directional here. But I do believe that all of this is happening. The sightings of UFOs and Bigfoot and the meteor breaking apart, exploding above Ohio. I believe all of this, and I was right, all is taking place across northeastern Ohio. So, what is going on up there, I don't know. As a paranormal investigator, as a cryptid enthusiast, I sure would like to find out. And I might just decide to start investigating. But thank you guys for joining me for this special edition of Journey into the Unknown. If you enjoyed this episode, please like it and share it with your friends. Hit that subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell to be notified of all future content. And if you have had any sightings yourself of the Bigfoot or UFOs or any other cryptid creatures or paranormal experiences that you would like me to read out here on the channel and give my opinion as I do, please email those to me at emeraldravenparanormal@gmail.com. That email will be put in the description of the show. Also, if you would like to, you can head on over to Facebook, where you can like my page, Emerald Raven Mystic, to be kept up to date on everything that I'm doing, new products, new books, new research, and all of that good stuff, and where you can find me in person. I will be back this Saturday, the 21st, at Rhodes MarketPlace in Sandusky, Ohio, offering my healings. I will also be there on the 28th, where we will have a psychic fair hosted by Goddess Elite out of North Olmsted. They will be hosting that at Rhodes Marketplace in Sandusky. I will be there for that as well. So there will be a few psychic medium, tarot readers, card readers, healers. And then that evening we are also doing a ghost hunt. So you're not going to want to miss that. So while you're on Facebook, go ahead and find Rhodes Marketplace and Goddess Elite LLC. I will put all of this names in the description of the show. That's all I have for you guys today, and I will see you back on Friday for the next episode. Until then, be safe and remember to never be afraid to spread your wings and soar into the unknown.